Hello, how are you doing?
I'm really great, thank you. How are you?
I am good. I am good, thank you. And welcome to season two, everybody.
Wow, amazing. So excited for this season.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's
We
do
are
it.
we are bringing to you some of the transformations that we've made, and we are not holding back. We really want to share so much of this with you and to help you transform your own lives and just know that it is never too late to change. So we're starting with you, Kat, aren't we? So
Yes.
fill us in.
Fill
We're
us
going
in.
back.
We're going back. I would come back with me, guys, a very, very long time ago. Yeah, so what I really wanted to share was my story. I just really wanted for our listeners to kind of unpick it and just let you know where it all began, and what happened for me to get to where I am now. So yeah, let's go back some time. And I'm a university student and I'm studying video production. So I had this dream that I wanted to be a producer, director, in the corporate video world, not film, or TV, corporate. So I graduated. And instead of kind of hanging around waiting for something to be handed to me on a plate, I was very ambitious and very driven. And back in the day where your show reel was on a CD, guys, or a
Love
DVD,
it.
it wasn't any of this streaming stuff. um, I identified the employers that I wanted to work with, and I sent out my show reel to them, whether they were recruiting or not, with my cover letter, just to say, like, I really want to come and meet you. Anyway, sent them out there, and I had some people get back to me, and this one company in particular got back to me and said, we're really impressed with your show reel, we'd love to meet you. However, we're not recruiting at the moment, but we'd love to just meet you for a chat. So I went in, had an incredible interview. All the good feelings came away, and yeah, within, I don't know, within a day or two, they got back to me and they're like, Kat, we still have no job, we are still not recruiting, but we're going to create a job for you because we really want you to come on board. And I'm like, yeah, baby, like I just dedicated the last 3 years to this degree. I'm on this track, I've got this dream, I've got this goal, I've just made it happen, fresh out of uni, dream job. And it was incredible. And the employers, the business were incredible. The vision for the business was everything. And I was working with them for I reckon about 18 months, 2 years. And the owners of the business, two guys, Mark and Andy, they had just been on a personal professional development weekend, with any of our listeners are familiar with the work of, excuse me, Tony Robbins, the American coach, the guru. They had been on his transformational weekend that he comes to the UK to do. It's called UPW, which stands for Unleash the Power Within. And Mark and Andy got back from this event and they were just blown away by it. So much so that they came to myself and the three other guys that worked for the company at the time. They're like, we're going to send you on this course, guys, to develop yourselves personally, professionally. And we were like, wow, really taken aback. That's amazing. So we went to UPW, which is the most transformational weekend I've ever had. Like, literally the first night you are walking on hot coals.
Love this.
And prior to this, like, the world of personal development, self-development, the inner work, like, I just wasn't aware of it. And throughout this weekend, Tony Robbins, I mean, I think he's a bit Marmite, maybe. You love him or you're not so much loving. He's quite a big, he's a big character, but I'm a lover. I think he's incredible. But he gets up on these stages for like 12-hour stints, and his energy is peak throughout. He's
Crazy.
conditioned himself to do this. Like, he's
Mhm.
practiced this for years. So anyway, we get to the end of this weekend, and I am just like, what just happened? Like, where have I been? Why have I not known about this before? Why is this not taught in schools? Are you really telling me I am the creator of my destiny? I am the one that is in control of my life. I can design a life that I want. I have no limits. Like, honestly, the things that dropped within that weekend, the transformations, and I was like, feel like I'm some part of a secret club. And there was something in me in that moment this weekend. I was like, I need to share this with the world. I don't know how right now, but I just need to get back and do something with this.
Yeah.
So came back. And I don't know if it was a few days later or maybe a week later or something, Mark and Andy had spoke to the team individually as like a post, a follow-up on the event, like how did we find it, how it's going to help us in the workplace, how it's going to help us personally. And I sat there and I was like, guys, like, just need to thank you for that opportunity. That was everything. And I'm handing my notice in. And they were like,
What?
okay, let's chat. And I was like, I need to share this with the world. I don't know what that looks like yet, but this is a really heart-led move. And they took it in, and this is just like, they're such incredible men. They were celebrating me for it. They were behind me in it. And I mean, to this day, like Andy, he's one of my besties, man. He is my biggest cheerleader. Well, and you are, of course, Charlotte, but he's one of my biggest cheerleaders. And yeah, they were completely behind me. And yeah, I left my dream job that I had obviously done my degree, spent 3 years dedicated to getting there. It was the perfect business for me to go up, starting at the sort of production manager level,
Yeah.
to work my way up to be the producer of the business. And Andy's even shared with me to this day, he says that, we always thought, Kat, you would have been the ideal candidate to take over the business when Mark and I kind of stepped down, and you would have been the one to have ran that business. I'm very flattered by that. So that, the whole what I thought I wanted was there for the taking.
Yeah.
And I just had to go with the deep passion, this deep purpose that came to me in this weekend. And the reason I'm sharing this today is because, from this view of obviously being in video production, this works very, very nicely, that you are the script writer of your life. And that means that you can change your story at any point. There doesn't have to be any rigidity to it. What I thought I wanted changed. It turned out to be something completely different through that circumstances of going to this transformation event. Had I spent 3 years studying for what I thought I wanted? Yes. Was I on the right path for this dream job? Yes. Was turning around to my employers and saying, thank you so much for this opportunity, but I'm leaving, one of the hardest things I had to do? Yes. It got harder. At that age, 24, then I had to go and let my parents know. And being a mum, like, I get it now. Like, when your daughter comes to you and goes, Mum, Dad, just spent a ton of money on this degree. And I'm in this job that is like the everything that's going to get me to where I want to be. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going to go be a life coach. Like, the look on their faces, they were like a jaw-dropping moment. Like, first of all, like, what is that? Like,
Yeah.
back when I was 24, the coaching world, it was
Yeah.
there, but it wasn't like it is now.
No.
And yeah, it just wasn't really, especially like me and my friends, I don't think really understood what I was doing. So I had to overcome so many like hurdles and so many barriers that came up. And as I mentioned, just it was such a hard move, but my head did jump in so many times, like, oh, what I should be doing versus what I really wanted to do. And sacrifices had to be made, because in order to make this happen, I had to go and make it happen. Because if I didn't make it happen, I'd just be making excuses.
Yeah.
And At the time, I was living in a really lovely city centre apartment in Birmingham. Now, I was very lucky I could do this. I had to leave that and go back and live with my mum and dad in the box room, back to the bedroom. And I also put a little bit of a cover up. So for me to kind of manage this transition from basically giving up on my dreams, or what I thought my dreams were, for the appearance of others, I signed up to a course at a local college in pattern cutting and dressmaking, because that had been another passion of mine. Because I'd actually, just backtracking a little bit, before I did my video production degree, I'd actually been offered a position at London College of Fashion to do costume design. Once I'd got my art design foundation course underway. But unfortunately, I pulled out of that because it was when my dad got ill and I wanted to stay close to home. So that's another manoeuvre, guys. That's another change in my story. So I thought, okay, just to kind of like, I don't know, soften it for my folks a little, because they were struggling with this. I'm going to sign up to this course just so I've got something that I'm showing that I'm doing. And it still was an interest. I was kind of keeping my options open, should we say. So I did this course. But guys, behind the scenes, I was this squirrel with books. Like, I would literally go to this course, do that for a few hours in the day, come back, shut that box room door, get out my hoard of books, everything I could find on personal development, self-development, inner work, sit and read, and just self-train in this coaching world. And then when I got to a point where I was like ready for the next level, that's when I signed up and did my accreditation as a life coach, NLP practitioner. And it just continued from there. But in order to change this story, we need to know that we can, first of all, and we need to know that it's okay. It's okay to go from what you think you should want to what you really want.
Yeah.
And it was a massive transformation. But it's just something, it was just something I know I had to do in that moment, in that weekend. I had to open the world and those around me, and as many people as I could, to this secret club, that you have control over your life through your choices, through your decisions, through how you think about yourself and others and the world around you. But there is work to do. Like, we have conditioning throughout our lives, through our environment, through our parents, through our teachers, through those that raise us. And that is a repetition of their conditioning and their programming. So if we want something different for ourselves, we have to be prepared to do something different.
This is what this is. I have something on this because wowzers, first off. And I think this story just blows me away, because when I think of you at 24 to have made that decision, and I don't know whether many other listeners will be thinking this like me, I would think I couldn't have done that at 24. This is the power in, like you say, this secret club of self-development. Would you say, like, without that, would you have made such a big choice?
No, it was a bold move. It was a bold move, and it was really scary.
Yeah.
And I know I've shared this with you before. Like, I'm just so blessed that I had Andy.
Yeah.
Like, literally, he was my rock. He was my cheerleader. He was like, you can do this, Kat. And he knows this. If I didn't have him, and he didn't do it for me, it was me. But at that time, I had somebody by my side that just had this like deep belief in me, this unshakable belief in me. And he helped me until I had that within myself. Now, Tony Robbins helped me in this weekend, but it's not a click overnight. Yes, I have this unshakable belief within 72 hours or whatever it was. You build on that, you do build on that, but you build on it by doing the things that you say you're going to do, by following through and proving to yourself that you can do them, and building that confidence and going, yeah, I can do it. I do believe in myself. So I had him to just be that I needed in that moment. And aside from that, it was so, so lonely. so lonely.
Yeah.
But there was just something in me, guys, that wasn't giving up on it. And this is what I was going to say, sorry, like, because I know I've shared this before. I'm like, oh my gosh, if the Authentic Girls Club was around, or, you know, a platform like
Then
that, a platform of women all working on themselves, all getting it, all getting the reason behind the self-development, all coming together and going, there's no limitations, Kat. These dreams aren't silly. For you
yeah.
to go and put this into the world, that's not silly. Don't keep yourself small. Don't keep the lid on. Don't limit yourself. Be the full expression of you. If I had that community then, wowzers, like how much
Mm,
quicker and further would I have got? Now there's no
yeah.
regrets here. Like
No, because it
I
was all
didn't. I didn't
yeah.
because it wasn't there. And I'm a true believer of the unfolding of life. And you know, it was everything was just right at that time. And it wasn't there for a reason. But you know, like I said, I'm just reflecting back now. I had Andy to be that for me. He was like my Authentic Girls Club in one.
Yeah.
He was there for
I
me.
was going to say, you've just literally, sorry to just stop you there, but
Yeah.
you've just said it, like the unfolding of life. And like you went to that job thinking that was your dream job,
Yeah.
but maybe you were there to find your dream cheerleader, to do that course that then took you on to that heart-led journey. Like
100%.
sometimes it's just, it doesn't unfold the way we think it's going. Like it's in our, you know, we kind of have it in our head. You've landed this dream job. It's all, you know, rainbows. I'd never get this right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rainbows and, you know, all the good
Unicorns.
stuff.
Yeah.
Unicorn
Yeah.
from there. But sometimes the path doesn't look how we think it's going to be. Like we
No.
need that job for a different reason to meet that person that's then going to take us on to this next step of our life. And that is so expansive, isn't it? Like it's not just one thing. Like a job
No.
is, there's so much in it. The people you meet, the things you learn, the courses you go on that could sidetrack you a different way. Like that's amazing. So yeah, the
Absolutely.
unfolding
Yeah.
of life.
And that's it. Like I look now and I look back and think, right, so I am an entrepreneur. I run the number one self-development community for women. I'm also a restaurateur. I own a restaurant. And I did a video production degree. Like, let's match that up. Like, that's a bit odd, you know? But I'm like, do I have any regrets of doing that video production degree? Absolutely not. I mean, what I learned, I tapped into yesterday when I was editing some audio.
Yeah, I love that. Yes.
But that on the bigger picture, no, I would never have met Andy. Oh my gosh, I would not be here with you today had I not have met Andy. Because what happened from then, so just to quickly boost into the rest of the story, I set up my own coaching practice at the age of 24.
Yeah.
I set up
Love
my own
that.
coaching practice and I was working one-on-one with clients and I was helping people make transformations in their lives, whatever those transformations look like for them.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. It was incredible. And I loved every moment of it. I then, however, got to a point where I loved helping others make these transformations. But I found it really lonely. Like, I like people. I like being around people
Yeah.
and working one-on-one with the clients, but then coming away and spending a lot of time on my own, working on the business and doing the prep work for my clients. I just found it quite isolating.
Yeah.
And I don't actually know how this happened, but Andy and I were chatting at some point and we expressed that we'd love to go into business together. So Andy, who I used to work for.
Yeah.
And I don't know where this came from, guys, but we decided to open a cafe together.
Love it.
And again, it's just this is the exciting thing about it. Like, okay, step one, she wants to be a producer in the corporate video production world. She rewrites her script. She wants to be a life coach and share this message with the world. She's done that. She's doing it, and it's incredible. Next chapter, next part of the story.
Yeah.
She wants to continue that, but in a completely different way. Again, letting go of this rigidity. She also has a passion for the customer experience. I've always been passionate about the customer experience.
Yeah.
From the moment someone stepped into our coffee shop, from the moment they open that door to the moment they leave, what is that experience we're delivering from them? And our mantra was, how can we make their day? And
Ah,
subsequently, we went and opened this coffee shop. Well, we opened it as a deli, a tiny shoebox deli. And then we proved that the concept would work in the area that we were in. I still coached some clients alongside of it. And then the opportunity came up, I think it was a year later, to go from like, I don't know, a few hundred square feet to a few thousand square feet to a unit opposite where we had a 60 cover eating cafe. And we made that maneuver. And that for me was just a further expansion of how can I get more people into this space
yeah.
and make their day? And all the
Ah,
coaching came through. Everything I
exactly.
learned came through with our customers, but with our teams. Like,
Mm,
I could use my coaching to empower my teams. I could use my coaching to empower the 16, 17-year-olds that I recruited to let them know that they can do it. Whether that be they can put the best tuna melt panini together, or whether they can make the best latte, but it wasn't so much about empowering them with the actual things. It was that deeper message of believe in yourself and you'll
yeah.
make that amazing latte. Believe
Yeah.
in yourself and you will have an impact on this person that starts their day with us, and just helping my teams to understand that the communication between us as human beings, like I'd say that you never know a person's situation. You never know what a person's going
No.
through. So when this guy walks through the door at 7 a.m. in the morning for his morning Americano, you have no idea what's going on in his world. Don't make the assumption that he's got a wife and kids and he's woke up happy and he's had interaction with other people. Until you know him and know his situation, don't make that assumption. Assume that he's come in and he lives alone
Mhm.
and he's had no interaction with anybody, and you're the first person he's going to talk to. How
Yeah.
can you make his day? It's more than an Americano. Anyway, I digress a little here.
No, I love that because this is another part of how life unfolds when you make these decisions. Like, you have no idea the impact that you've already had on the world. Like, when you actually sit back and just like, I mean, I'm sure you do because you do this work, but actually, every single person, like when you think of the amount of people's days that you've made over time,
Yeah,
how amazing is that? You're doing this work with every, and we've had this before where you're like, your story is so disjointed. Like, talking about it like this, no, it isn't. Like,
yeah,
this is exactly how it was meant to unfold. You did the coaching, you put the coaching into practice in different ways, and now you're putting it into practice like in another way that is really at this moment in time full heart, like the next
yeah,
step. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, this is not disjointed, by the way, because I've not heard you speak about it, quite so like this. I'm
yeah,
like, this
yeah.
is
And
like
it,
so
and I think that's why I
succinct.
was quite keen to do this, because when someone goes, "Oh, so what do you do?" or like, "What do you used to do?" I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
geez, where do we start?" I'm just like, "Oh, how long have you got?" And it does feel a bit odd, just the different careers, the different industries. But you're right, actually. There, of course, there's this common thread. Like, I didn't give up on the coaching, not
No.
at all. I had to just maneuver and get it out in different ways, and I
Yeah.
still do it with my team at the restaurant, like with my manager, with my leadership team. With I worked last night, guys. I waited on last night. I was host. I was greeting everybody that came into that building last night, and we have a new starter, and she's 16, and just kind of shadowing her and working with her last night. I'm using everything we use in the club to be like
Yeah.
that. You don't know what you don't know, and just kind of use this space as a platform to build this confidence, and just kind of, yeah, just kind of coaching her through it. So the coaching has just evolved through the years. And then, yeah, so then stepping into hospitality, and then just expanding on that by opening another two restaurants, and then having kids within
Yes.
that, having two children. I've been in hospitality now for, I think, a total like 15 years. And just to continue the story further, to bring us to the present day, I got to a point about, I don't know, 18 months ago, maybe a little bit longer than that now, where my girls had both started school. I had been on this journey of hospitality and how I could get this into the world in different ways. I now got our restaurant to a point where it completely functions without me. Like, I don't need to work in it anymore. Like, last night
Yeah.
going in was because I wanted to,
Yeah.
because I want to be that owner that just is still around and still, still does that.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
But I don't have to be there. And 18 months ago, I had this, I'll be honest with you, this crushing moment of like, shit, is this it? Like, so bear with me on this one. It was a bit like the girls are at school, the restaurant doesn't need me. I am not playing. And this is not taken away from, there's nothing wrong with me being the stay-at-home mum, even though the kids aren't there,
Yeah.
that make sure, the home is ready and
Mm.
there is nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. But that's not my journey, that's not my wanting. And I got to this point of like what, like I remember a moment I was sat and I jumped forward X amount of years and I thought, is that just it with the restaurant? And am I just doing these little bits that I do to work on the
Yeah.
business? And it filled me with dread. Like it filled me with dread because I know I'm made for so much more. And I put the lid on. I
Yeah.
put the lid on.
Mm.
And you know what it was, guys? It was the should. The should. After all these years of doing this. And this is why this inner work doesn't stop. And I don't want that to come
No.
across as oh, for God's sake, it never stops. Like,
Yeah.
oh. But in the most beautiful ways, it doesn't stop because we keep evolving and we keep growing. But I stepped into the shoulds and I could hear it. You should just be happy. You have a 6-figure business that runs without you, girl. You have a lovely home. You have a wonderful family. You should just be happy. You should just stay in hospitality because you're goddamn good at it and you know what you're doing. You should just stay in it. But there was this whirring. There was this. No, there's more. There's
Yeah.
more. There's that. There's that seed that was planted all those years ago at
Yeah.
that weekend. And yes, it has come out and it has blossomed and it has grown. But oh my gosh, it's got some more growing to do. It needs to grow further. It needs to be nourished more.
Yeah.
And then I met you. There's bits in between. There's bits in between. But I'm just saying I had to rewrite that story again. And I can because I am the script writer of my story. I've got the pen.
Yeah.
And I had to think, right, oh, what's the next chapter?
I was gonna say my story's not finished.
My story's
I
not finished.
literally
What
we can
U-turn can I
think
pop in now? When
yeah,
everyone's reading, thinking, "Oh, what restaurant's she going to open next?"
no
Watch this! Watch this! Big U-turn,
plot
and that
twist.
is when I made the decision. Gosh, my guys, I can't express how many months I sat in frustration. Oh, I was looking outside for everything. I was so frustrated because I knew I wanted more, but I was doing nothing about it. And then I had to bring it back in. Kat, it's you, man. That it's you that's got to
Yeah.
do it. Okay, what can I do? And then I was sat in, but I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that consumed me. The energy I used in that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I just walked around, shoulders down, head down, because I was filled with what do I do? What do I do? I don't know what to do. I don't know. I've got all this time. I don't know what to do. I know I want to do more, but I don't know what it is. Just do something. Just do something
Yeah.
different. So I got out there, I joined FEA,
Yeah.
Female Entrepreneur Association, the platform for women in business, because I knew it was another business. And I
Yeah.
had to overcome so much. I had to overcome so much fear around starting a new business. Oh, do you know what went through my mind? You're flaky, like you can't stick at it. Like 15 years I've just done hospitality for. But honestly, those stories went through my
Yeah.
head. Oh, look at you, shiny object syndrome. You're jumping onto the next thing. Hold on a minute. I'm moving on to the next thing
Yeah.
because I've got a business that I can
Lift
give
that lid.
I'm lifting that lid that any point, like I did with the other business I owned, the other 2 businesses that I sold successfully, I
Yeah.
could go, there is your operations manual and there is the key. Thank you for the cash. That's how you do it. There's
Yeah.
nothing flaky about that.
No.
I'm giving somebody a profitable business.
Yeah.
There's nothing flaky about that. But that went through my head. You should just stay in hospitality. Otherwise, what will it look like? It will look like you're just getting bored. No, no, it's because I'm meant for more. I'm joined
Yeah.
FEA. I met you, and that is the power of
Doing something
just
different, isn't
doing
it?
something different
Yeah.
and knowing you've got that pen. You are the script writer,
Mm.
and it's okay to change it because it's okay to tap in to what you really want versus what you think you should want.
Love this.
There we go.
And this brings us to our takeaway, doesn't it? A little bit, because it's so important to figure out what we truly want over what we think we should want. And honestly, like, I just take my hat off to you because you have really followed through on that, like, from such a young age. And I think that is just incredible. You have followed your heart. And, you know, often we're following our head, all the reasons not to do something are so much louder. And that is big. And I just want to celebrate you for that because you have continued to just do it. Just do it. And like, it doesn't have to make sense, but if you feel it in your heart, that's all you need.
Yeah.
And that is just amazing. But it takes some exploring, doesn't it? Sometimes we do have these shifts where, like for you, you went and did the course and then that, took you on. Sometimes we've got to just ask ourselves. I know for me, I had to just keep asking myself, what do I really want? And peeling back those layers. I used to, just to give a little example, I used to think that, and this was only probably a year ago, I want to pack everything up here and go and live in the Caribbean. Literally, I thought that's what I wanted. And then I sat on that for a bit and I actually started asking myself what I truly want. I'm a home bird. I love Cornwall for the sea. Yes, I'd love to go. Like, I can't wait to go abroad again. I've not been abroad since, gosh, it'll be 2019 now. Can't wait to do that again. But I'm a home bird. And what I've really discovered is even when I go to Cornwall for a week's holiday, I am so excited to get back into my own space. So what I really want is to go live on a farm and create my home environment that is full of rescue animals. But I didn't know that only a short year ago.
Yeah.
So I suppose what I'm sharing in this with this takeaway is to continue asking yourself what you really want over what you think you should want. And I just love, I think this is just such an inspirational share because just keep making those choices towards what you really want over what you think you should want. And that is absolutely just rewriting your story, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it. That's really it. And I think once you know what you want, it's then making those choices. Every choice is around that, and it's what you do each day that builds on that.
Yeah.
And like I kind of just reflect on when I didn't know what I wanted. Yes, absolutely, it is a case of asking yourself what do you want, but also don't allow yourself to be so consumed, because I remember just feeling the weight, the weight of that and the frustration of
Yes.
not knowing. So please know it's okay to just not, the first time you ask, the answer may not
No.
arrive. Like Charlotte said, it takes some peeling back, but just go on this journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
Just try some stuff.
Hmm.
That I did, I shared, didn't I? I did do the fashion design, the pattern cutting course, and it was a bit of a facade to show what I'm doing. But who knows? That could have evolved. I could have
Yeah.
actually thought, got to the into coaching and thought, actually that's not for me. But what has really sparked me is the fashion design. But it's about leaving your options open. It's just it is trying new things and doing things
Yeah.
differently. And like you said, just listening to that heart rather than that head. Like, what is that passion? What do you love to do?
Mm.
What
Yeah.
what are you good at? What do you enjoy that comes with ease, that lights you up?
Yeah.
What's the little girl inside of you? Because she's still there and she has all those passions, those hopes, those dreams, those desires.
Yeah.
Like, tap back into that. And it is a journey of
Yeah.
discovery. And it doesn't need to be daunting and scary to start that. It can be really explorative, and it can be just a really nice process just to sit, pop
Yeah.
some nice music on, pop a candle on, a cup of tea, whatever your thing is, and just think, what, if I could be, do, or have anything, what would that look like?
Yeah.
Just lift that lid, remove those limits, because you're the
Yeah.
only one that's putting them on yourself. And don't
Yeah.
let a projection of others and their limits come onto you. Like, just allow yourself to dream and just
Yeah.
see what unfolds. But yet the takeaway is, we'll pop this as a journal prompt as well in the show notes, I
Yeah.
feel,
Yeah.
is what do I want versus what do I think I should want? I hope I worded that right. just,
Yes.
just,
Yeah.
just, just to kind of determine between the what should I want versus actually what do I want, and just see what comes up for you on paper, and just keep
Yeah.
exploring that, and
Yeah.
know that at any point you are the script writer. So that means you can change your story at any
Yeah.
point.
Love that. And we have spoken to a few of the ladies in our world who have come to us and expressed some of the things that they want to do. And it's been really interesting for us, isn't it? Because we hear so loudly. Often they'll come with 2 ideas or 3 ideas, share those. We know the one that is heart led.
Yeah,
You can see it so clear when you're an external person looking in.
yeah,
You see them light up in a different way, and it's the one that's the most scary. It's the one that literally pushes you to your limits, that you think, I don't think I can do it though. Like,
yeah,
that was TAGC for me. Like,
yeah,
I could have gone and done something else, something I should do, that's going to bring the money in faster. Maybe it
yeah,
was a
yeah,
job that, would get us back on track quicker. Like, there's a lot of things that I could have done, you know?
yeah.
But what was that heart passion inside that I knew I needed to get out?
And just on that really quickly, that's the point of the sacrifices that are made. Like
Yeah,
you just said that, from a financial perspective, yeah, you could have gone and got the full-time job to bring in that money a lot faster. And that could have been, that's what you should be doing. But that's the sacrifice you as a family have decided to make. And that's a choice, that's a decision. And that
yeah,
is a brave, bold move.
yeah,
But that's you leading with the heart, isn't it? And it's like, yeah, I'm willing to sacrifice this. We haven't
yeah,
been overseas for X amount of years, but that is a sacrifice because this is something bigger here.
yeah.
There really is.
Most definitely. And just to end on the wonderful words of Kat Burns, I'm really hoping this comes to me. What does she say?
Live.
Um,
Oh yes, right. I have to sing it to remember the lyric.
Go
Bear
on,
with
sing it
me.
for
I'm
us,
not going
Kat.
to. No, 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 no. I'm singing this in my head. Um. Oh gosh. Don't let your head stop your heart from
Don't let your head stop
head
your
stop your
heart
heart
from
from
moving.
moving.
Don't
Yeah.
let
Let
your
your
head
head stop
stop.
your heart from moving.
That was a little
Yeah.
instinct with which makes that
Sorry,
running.
sorry. I thought we were going to do that together then.
So,
That
yes.
is right, isn't it? Don't let your head stop your heart from moving. Yeah.
I love those words because that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Don't let your head get in the way. Yes, it's going to
No.
crop up. We can deal with our head.
Yeah.
Walking towards what your heart wants, and you will get
Yeah.
everything you have ever wanted.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, thank you so much for
You're
sharing this
welcome.
goodness today, for sharing your journey. And if guys, you want to reach out to us, if you sit with that journal prompt and you're like, I don't even know where to start, honestly, ping us an email, hello@theauthenticgirlsclub.com. We are here to help. We are so passionate about this because we have lifted the lid on our life. Like, we have removed anything keeping us small, and this space is so freeing, and we want this for everyone. So don't sit in frustration any longer. Reach out to us. We are here to help. And yeah, thank you so
Amazing.
much.
You're welcome.
Have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you're at, and we will speak to you soon.
Take care,
Okay.
guys. Speak
Thank you so
soon.
much. Bye.
Bye.